This Albion Online video is all about answering new player common questions, and every time there's a new player to Albion or any MMORPG, they always all want to know the same things, like, what's the best way to make money? What build should I use? Where do I go? How do I level up fast? And so on. And right now on YouTube, there is a lot, and I mean a lot, of new creators with very small sub counts, very small view counts, or inflated view counts, and they are misguiding players. They are misguiding new players, and they are like all working in tandem in a little Discord to try to get new players to get pushed into full loot zones, and they are giving them some of the worst advice in the entire history of the game, and this video is here to correct and fix that. And let me just tell you right now, I'm a pretty big enemy on these content creators and Redditors, so if you try to share this video on Reddit, they're just going to downvote it and downvote you, so don't even bother. But just look at my numbers, look at my sub count, look at the fact that I have over 900 Albion videos. I have some of the most viewed guides on the site. Everyone talks about me every single day. It's you can trust me, bro, and I'm going to not only show you the proof that I am correct in what I'm about to teach you, I am going to also show you some of the things that they are teaching and show and prove to you why their methods are wrong. Let's get into it. So the way this video is going to work is I'm going to show you the correct method of the common newbie questions, and then I'm going to show you what their methods are and why they are improper and why they are wrong or inefficient. Let's go. So the first question is, what is the best way to make money as a complete beginner? And this applies to solo players, players without a guild, people with no friends, and people that are not paying money into the game, aka card swiping. This is free to play, completely solo. There are different methods for people that have friends and guilds, of course, guilds being very touchy. It's very hard to find a good guild in this game that isn't trying to screw you over or milk you for all you're worth. But we're going to talk about solo players. Now, this question has multiple answers depending on what stage of the game you're in. As a complete and utter brand new beginner, this means that you are doing Tutorial Island. And Tutorial Island is a very good place to make some early money to skyrocket you ahead, but it is not something you can indefinitely farm forever, nor should you. So let's talk about that. So, on Tutorial Island, there is a big crop circle of stones that you can harvest that have a very quick respawn rate, and this is called rough stone. This is the most valuable resource that weighs the least amount of weight, so before you leave Tutorial Island, this is the item that you can harvest the most of to make the most money in the shortest amount of time, and let me show you why this is the case. So here in the market is rough stone. You can see it's actually rising quite a bit because there's just no new players coming into the game. And you can see that even if you quick sold it to other players, it would quick sell for 238. Whereas right now, if I go to resources and we check tier 2 fiber, 97, tier 3 fibers, 98. The highest tier of resource you can farm as a brand new character with a tier 2 tool is tier 3 resources. You can't harvest anything higher until you level up. Alright? And even when you level up to tier 4, they're not much better. I'll even show you. Tier 4 is, well, that's 4.4. So, we don't want rough stone. There we go. Okay. So, you can see it's like 113, alright? But if we go to hide, and hide is generally the best thing you can harvest early on. We have 69, and we'll talk more about gathering later, 180. And then if you go to ore, I hope you get the idea, 91, 95, and 30. Ew, gross, right? And then we have stone, 92, 135, and this one is the worst in the whole game. And this is actually enchanted travertine, and it is like 11. You just don't harvest tier 4 stone. That's just something you don't do unless you're leveling it up. It's pretty bad. So yeah. Anyway, so that's the resources, but when, again, I showed you rough stone and why it's the most expensive. Let me show you what that actually looks like. Alright, so on Tutorial Island, the stone crop circle looks just like this. I'm going to play a clip from a speedrun that I did to level a character's mastery to 100. It's 6 hours and 26 minutes. I could have did it faster, but it's whatever. But the reason why this is the best rough stone farm in the game is because there is more rough stone here, like, just compacted together than anything else, alright? And at the same time, the rough stone respawns at a very rapid, fast pace. more so than the actual open world. And so the only other resource you can really gather in this zone is tier 2 stuff, which you can't carry as much of because it weighs the same as stone. And I'll get to what everyone else is telling you to do in the tutorial. And the reason why they do it is because they spite me so much that they can't admit that I'm right. And so here, I'm going to show you the results. You can say that I started farming the stone around 15 minutes in this video, and I'm going to show you how much profit it makes. So at this point in the video, it's 40 minutes in. So we could say that we farmed for 25 minutes of rough stone. You can see here that I have a 100% weight limit, which means right when this turns yellow, you start to move a little bit slower. But our estimated market value in that time, in just 25 minutes, is 220,000. Now, to an established player, that's not a lot of money, but to a brand new character, that is a big stack of silver that will help you very early on. Now, I want you to notice my character's move speed. It's still pretty quick. And again, this is 220,000 silver worth of stones. My character can ride to town and sell these insanely fast. Now, let me show you what everyone else's guide is telling you to do. So, what other guides are telling you to do is buy mules from the tutorial island market for 3 silver each, and then carry them to town and sell them for 2,000 each. Okay, so let's emulate that real quick. Let's emulate that because mules weigh a whole lot. Mules weigh a ton. All right, so the advice that they give you in their videos is that you should grab around 8 mules, and transport them out to sell them. They're worth 2,000 each. So 8 mules is worth estimated market value of 34,154. Now, in Tutorial Island, the best thing you can possibly have is a tier 2 boot that's Masterpiece. You're not getting a Masterpiece tier 2, but if you happen to be the 0.05% that gets one, congratulations. That'll give you a bonus of 17 kilograms of carry weight. So you'll notice that my carry weight is 242%, and with these boots, it's down to 217%. You will also have a bag, which their guides don't even tell you to craft a bag. I've watched their tutorials. They actually leave Tutorial Island with no bag for some reason, putting their carry weight at 300%, okay? And this is how slow you run. This is how fast you can move at 300%, all right? Okay, I'm going to put the bag on, though, all right? And even with the bag, we're still moving at a snail's pace for 34,000 silver. Now, I want to tell you, in order to get to town from Tutorial Island, you have to run through, which I can't actually zoom into. Oh, I guess I can. You have to go from here at the bottom corner, ride at a snail's pace all the way through the snowy region here. And then you have to ride through the snowy region all the way to the tippy top of the map. And then from the tippy top of the map, you have to travel through the steppe into fractured ground. All right. And then you have to travel all the way through here to get to Bridgewatch. And when you get the idea, right? When you get to Bridgewatch, you have to travel all the way up here to the market. And this is going to take you on foot. This will take you more than 25 minutes to reach town. This is not even 34,000 silver. Remember, these are worth 2,000 each, okay? So the estimated market value is actually wrong here. And this is another reason why. This is the slow sale value. The slow sale value, okay? So you're only going to be getting 16,000 silver to do this. And this is going to take you longer than 25 minutes to do. And it's going to make you almost 9 to 10 times less silver, okay? And the reason why the other guide creators, the other content creators, the reason, number one, they tell you not to do the stone method is because they hate me, and I'm the guy that invented it. Like, it literally, I figured it out before anyone else and made it public first, and so I'm kind of like the granddad of that strategy, and they hate that, and they will never credit me for even if I'm completely right, even if I save their whole family in a burning house fire, they will hate me forever, okay? Please understand that. And these stacks of mules, I used a clever use of game mechanics to get those a long time ago with a movement ability weapon that got patched out, okay? So don't worry about that. But essentially, the other reason that they tell you to do this, and this is a greed reason, they want mules to be cheap as possible because they use it all the time in their full loot PvP zones, and they just don't want to spend any money. So the more newbies bringing more mules from Tutorial Zone, the cheaper mules get, and the better off they are. That's reason number 2. So reason number 3 that these people even make these guides in the first place, most of them are AI slop, most of them are AI voices, they're clips from other channels, not even their own. And the reason why these people do it is because with like 1,000 views on a video and at least like maybe 100 subscribers on YouTube, they can qualify for the Albion Online Content Creator Program, which then grants them an infinite, endless premium. They will always get premium. They will always, at the start of the month, get the newest skin mount thing that every month it's like a little gift. And they can sell that for anywhere from 10 to like 40 million silver on the market 45 days later. All right. It gets them access to a trading Discord only for content creators. I'm not part of it. I'm not allowed to be part of it. I'm too controversial. I'm too blunt. I'm too truthful. And I don't get along with anyone else. And for good reason, because I'm the only guy telling you the truth. But reason number 4 that these people dissuade you with these guides is because they see you, the new player, as a plaything. They see you as something to be farmed. They see you as a meal ticket, not from like ad revenue, but from in-game. They want you broke and stupid and playing the game wrong so that them and their 20 friends in the full loot zones can clean sweep you, kill you, and take all of your stuff. And there's another thing, too, that people were telling new players to do, and that is to craft a whole bunch of Tier 2 items and then transport it to the black market in Caerleon. And Caerleon is surrounded by full loot PvP red zones, and they're telling brand new players that have never, ever played the game before to, you know, craft a whole bunch of Tier 2 items from Tutorial Island and then ride all the way from Step Cross or wherever, all the way up here to the very center of the freaking continent, through these cutthroat, absolutely dangerous, full loot zones, get to the black market, and then dump it on the black market. And the thing is, once 1 or 2 people have already done that for the day, the black market is satiated, and you won't make anything. But they love cheap items, and also, these are the same people, these same channels, telling players to do this. They're red zone gankers. That means they get like 10 of their buddies together. They have little automated scout bots with cheats running on a third-party thing called GeForce Now, parked at every entrance of the red zone. And the second you ride through it on an ox, which they tell you in these guides to do it on an ox for some reason, that pings their bot, their cheat device, and tells them where you are at, and then them and their 8 friends ride out and they come kill you and take your stuff. And they go sell it, or they go, you know, put it on the black market themselves. You can literally check their channels for their red zone ganking content, okay? That's what they do. They want you in the full loot zones to farm you, and by making a video, they turn a potential new player into a meal ticket. So to sum it up, the reason Rough Stone is the best is it makes you the most money in the least amount of time, and it's completely safe to do, all right? There is nothing better that a new player on Tutorial Island can possibly do to make more silver in the shortest amount of time. Don't believe the idiots on Reddit telling you, oh, just buy 8 mules and ride it to town. Yeah, The next big question is, what do I do after Tutorial Island? And so my route is sell stone, get your 3 days of premium for selling 50,000 worth of stone. I have a whole video, I have several videos that show what you should do to rapid fire complete journal quests to instantly get to tier 6, which doesn't matter as much anymore due to the recent patches, as Reaver levels no longer matter for your ability to fight monsters in the open world. Alright, I also have it where you buy a starter gatherer and fame farm set so that you will always have a way to progress. Even if you go to a full loot zone and die, as long as you didn't bring those sets with you, you're still good. And also mounts. You know, mounts are important for moving around the map to farm with or to gather with. And then, essentially, after that, you just go gather for money or you fame farm depending on your mood. So let me show you some of my resources that explain how to do all of this stuff the best. Now, if you just care about fame farming and nothing else, this is not exactly the most beginner-friendly of videos, but it's called How Fast a Brand New Character Can Get 100 Weapon Mastery. And what this video is about is this is a completely uncut video. This is not so much a tutorial, this is a speedrun attempt. I make a brand new character, I run it through Tutorial Island doing the stone thing, I sell the stone, and then until about an hour and 45 minutes, I just market flip. So that's a little bit more advanced and hard to do for a new player, so you can skip that. But I have it timestamped here to this one right here, around 1 hour 47 minutes. It's early journal rewards and gear purchases. And so what I do is I do all these little tricks to essentially rapid fire get a ton of fame tomes from the journal rewards, which allows me to level up very fast and wear some powerful early game gear. And then all I do is the best fame farm in the game, and that is going into the trio depths as a solo and just killing mobs. And here's the thing. In this video, I decided to do this completely with a weapon I was unfamiliar with ever using on a brand new character with no mastery on anything. And yeah, I get downed a lot from mobs, and there is a repair bill, but I'm able to make up for that with silver drops, gear drops, and stuff. This set can't even run from players. It cannot run from players. All right. And so when a team of 3 comes and beats me up and downs me, in the depths for a brand new player, if you don't know, you do not lose your equipped gear. You only lose what is in your inventory. So this is the bar none best fame farm in the game. So the sooner and the faster that you get here, and the sooner and faster that you start fame farming it, the faster you will level up. It's also a good silver maker too. I was making about 900,000 silver per hour, which is really, really good, but that's also luck based, and we'll talk about that more later in the video. Now, if you only care about those journal quests, this video is a little bit more snappy. This is called How to Power Level a Brand New Character. There is no thumbnail. This literally is the thumbnail. I got lazy. I didn't make a thumbnail for this one. I wanted to see how little views it would get without a thumbnail, and it really didn't get that much. But there's no, like, there's on-screen instructions, like step 1, like gather till you have 100k worth of stuff, sell it, buy 50k worth of items, sell that, which is the rough stone thing. You already know how to do that. Again, everything's on the screen here, like step 4, if you say something, if you whisper yourself, you get some tomes for doing that. It's just a bunch of journal reward quests. It's real easy to navigate. You don't even have to watch the whole video. Just mouse over it until you get to the next step. And then I even show you a trick on how to get a 200,000 fame tome by killing 20 enemies in the span of 5 seconds, which most people that are experienced with the game still to this day don't know how to do, but I show you how to do it. On the topic of fame farming numbers, this video called The Best Fame Farm with Proof Why Everyone Else is Wrong shows you the exact raw numbers with and without satchel of why and how the depths are the best fame farm compared to all of the other popular solo fame farm methods. The numbers are literally on the screen. And again, everything gets compared. It is the perfect video you can watch to fully educate yourself and be completely immune to their propaganda. If you want the all-inclusive best guide for the entire game, currently up to date with the latest patch, it is this one. The best possible start for new players, fastest leveling, best silver farm for 2025. It looks like this. It's got the guy on the beach. He's got some standard gear. And this thing is fully time-stamped. It is 4.5 hours long. This explains everything I've explained to you so far. How to get the rough stone, how to sell it, how to do the journal reward stuff. This explains how to buy, what to buy, and why to buy, all the best starter gear, and so on. And so, again, everything's time-stamped. You can just open the description here, and you can just click whatever you want. It also explains, like, the best client, the best settings, every little nuanced thing that you could possibly ever want to know. I know 4 hours is a lot of time. 4 hours is a very large amount of time, but if you're going to be playing an MMO for months or even years, 4 hours is a nothing investment. Slap this bad boy on your second monitor and just listen to it in the background and reference it whenever you need to figure out something or you forget how to do something. I literally make these videos in case I ever want to play this game like 10 years in the future and I forget how to play. Because, I mean, you put a game down for 10 years, you're going to forget how to do stuff. I made this guide exactly to teach you the correct ways to play, all right? And we're going to talk about some other guides like this one here in the corner. This guy's got like a 6.5 hour video that tries to be kind of something similar to what I do. And he tells you to go to full loot zones with a really, really shitty build. And you don't want to follow that one because that build will slow you down and make you level way slower than anyone following my guide, all right? And there's a reason he has 9K views and I have 51,000, okay? There's a reason for that. Here is what the bad actors do and what they tell you to do after Tutorial Island. I'm going to tell you why they tell you to do this stuff. So, number one, they give you no economy advice at all. The reason why they don't give this advice is because most people in this game are greedy schmucks, and they don't want to share their money-making methods, all right? And while that is fair, it's also a little bit rude, right? Telling a new player to go gather, pick up rocks, skin animals, that's not going to ruin the market. It's not going to ruin their mega, capitalism thing that they've got going on where they have this big market niche that they've conquered and it's their main money maker, all right? Number two, they make you wear a PvP set, which is most of them, almost all of them, are very slow at fame farming. Now, here's why they tell you to do this. None of these guys, a lot of Albion Online is ego. A lot of these video makers, these content creators, they have a huge ego. If they get caught with their pants down in a PvE set and get beat up, it really hurts their pride, number one. Number two, they will never be caught dead in a safe zone because it would, again, hurt their ego. This game is very quick to be hateful towards those that enjoy safe zones, despite 92% of the player base only playing in safe zones. Isn't that fun? But these guys, they have a reputation to uphold. They have a reputation to keep. And so they will always, always, always go out in the open world with a PvP set and nothing else. And they will fame farm much slower for doing so. Much, much slower than someone that fame farms in a PvE optimized set. And I'm going to talk about those sets in a little bit later in the video. Number three, they rush you into the black zone. Again, this is an ego thing. And while the black zone does generally give more fame than a safe zone, as a new player, if you die, you go bankrupt. And you are going to die. That's the thing. You will die in this game. There is no avoiding death, especially as a new player. It just doesn't happen. Even the experienced players all die. Go watch their streams. They die constantly. I'm going to point this out later. I'm going to show you some examples, okay? But they rush you to the black zone. And the thing is, they're not making a video for a brand new player, either because they don't remember what it's like to be new, or they just expect everyone to just have the innate courage, knowledge, and gameplay mechanics that they do. A lot of people can't empathize with a new player. They're either too young or they just don't care. All right? So, number four, they rely on lucky chest drops for early econ. So what they tell you to do is they tell you to go to black zone and to do the open world camps. These camps, you kill some mobs, they unlock a chest, you get some loot. And this is very luck reliant. Yes, it can make you some silver. It can make you a decent amount of silver. If you don't have premium, these things make a terrible amount of silver per hour. With premium, yeah, you can probably push about 1 million. And that's only if you manage to survive and get back to town with the loot. New players are going to die and spill all the loot that they've collected to their ganker. It's really bad. It's really sad. They also avoid gathering. Most PvPers and a lot of these ego YouTube or Twitch streamers, they absolutely hate gathering. They think gathering is a loser thing to do. They think that it's boring. They think that it's unnecessary because almost all of them card swipe. I'm going to show you some examples later. But they don't gather. They don't gather at all. They didn't play this game to gather. They didn't play this game to mine rocks and chop trees, like you would for RuneScape. They got this game just so they could beat up people that don't have as good of gear as they do. And so they won't pass on this info. They might mention, oh yeah, you can gather for some money, but they're never going to show it. They're never going to really go into depth about it. And when they do, they get a lot of their info wrong, and they don't even know how to really maximize gathering. A lot of people ask, what is the best way to make money as a new player? Not from Tutorial Island, but as a new player, and the answer is gathering. You just pick one of the gathering nodes, preferably one based on whatever town you're in, and preferably not fishing. Fishing is for cheaters, botters, and radar hackers. Yeah, they make a lot of money doing it. There's a lot of YouTube channels showing you, oh, I make 5 million an hour fishing. And they do, and they're running a radar hack on a second monitor or on a web browser. So, I haven't found a single legit fishing channel that doesn't cheat, or isn't in a guild that protects them while they film. Alright, I'm being serious. I'm being 100% no cap, skibbity on Rizzler serious, or whatever the heck. Okay, don't close the video, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cringe like that. Please forgive. But what I'm getting at is that all you gotta do is gather. So, let me give you some examples. If you live in Bridgewatch, it is advised the best money-making gathering profession is technically skinning. And the reason why is skinning in Bridgewatch's zones. That means these little desert zones. In tier 4 zones, these stags that inhabit these zones can drop a baby stag. all right? And those baby drops are a free 100k. It's like a 0.03% chance to drop, but I get 3 to 6 per hour, okay? That is an additional 300 to 600,000 silver that I would make over some other professions, okay? That's if the baby drops. I still make 1 million per hour if no babies drop and I get unlucky. But if I do get good baby drops, that can be 1.7 million silver per hour while gathering, okay? Now, here's another thing, too. In Bridgewatch, it is very close to the Tier 4 stone area, which is the Martlock zones, and Martlock is best for stone. So all I have to do is ride 2 zones away, and now I'm in a Tier 4 blue zone with lots and lots of stone. And the cool thing about Bridgewatch is that it is the stone refining capital. And Tier 2 stone, that means it can be refined for free. I can refine stone for free and get a bonus because I'm in Bridgewatch, all right? And let me show you that bonus. You can see it right here. Now, today is also Stone Day, so this bonus is a little higher than it normally would be. It's Stone and Fiber Day. So this would be 40%, I guess, whatever. Or 30, I forget exactly. But, so you get a bonus for refining stone in Bridgewatch, and that's why stone mining is also a good choice if you live here. Now, you could go woodcutting, but you gotta ride pretty far east, several zones away, and you want to chop wood in a Tier 5 yellow zone. So the closest one is pretty far. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zones away. So you're gonna have to do a lot of traveling if you want to chop wood. And the thing is, to refine it, you've got to ride all the way up here to Fort Sterling. So, because Fort Sterling is the wood refining capital. So, not really ideal. Now, if you live in Lymhurst, Lymhurst is the fiber refining capital, and the cool thing about Lymhurst is that they're pretty close to some zones here. Like Dryfield Meadow is 3 zones away. You can gather a lot of good fiber in Dryfield Meadow, and then take it right back to Lymhurst and get a refining bonus for fiber. It's really good, okay? Whereas Fort Sterling, you know, they don't have a Tier 4 forest that's close. They gotta go, well, I guess 3 zones away. They got cedar copse, so you can chop trees there. But lower tier trees aren't really that good for money. They're just not. And then you have Thetford, which is the mining ore refining capital. And you would have to ride out to the snowy zones for ore. But ore is a really bad... It's just really bad. It's also the most cartel controlled. The cartel is a group of sweat lords that hang out in a Discord and they spreadsheet all the things and they control all the player shops, okay? And then you have Martlock, okay? Martlock is, their refining bonus is hide, but they don't have any good hide farming spots near them. Yeah, they could ride over here to Curl Few Finn, but they don't have baby drops, so it's not that good. So Bridgewatch it's always the best city for new players, and I explain this in all of my videos all of the time. It's just the best economically. And it's the most efficient city for a new player to live in. Also to build their starter homes because it's the stone capital, so stone is the cheapest. Meaning your housing is also the cheapest. And if you want the best info for gathering, this video right here, Complete Gathering Guide 2025 edition. It's called Complete Gathering Guide for Beginners and Pros, Best Money, Fastest Leveling. It's all time-stamped. It's a pretty long one at 1 hour, 41 minutes. You can go into the description. I don't know if you can hear a cat crying in the background, but she is, I don't know what's going on with her. But again, all of your questions are answered right here in the description. So what the bad actors are telling you to do in their guides for new players is to go kill black zone mobs. Now let's talk about that. When you kill a black zone mob in like the best possible black zone, they drop around 2,000 silver. Yeah, sure, they do. Okay, and that's not bad. However, whenever you start leveling gathering, I can go click on one tier 2 rock without premium and make 1,000 silver for every rock I click, and there'll be like 6 of them on my screen, and then there's 0 risk, there's 0 effort. Whereas if you go to a tier 8 quality 5 black zone, or even quality 6 if you're really daring, and you try to fight a mob, you're gonna need like tier 6, tier 7, tier 8 gear as a new player. And with 4.1 gear, yeah, you could do it in 4.1 gear when you have 100 mastery and 100 specialization in the entire tree. And even then, you can only maybe fight 1 or 2 mobs at a time without it getting really risky and hard to do. And again, there's always the threat of someone coming by and killing you. And when you die in a black zone, you lose everything, your inventory and your equipment. So what that means is that if your set, because you need, as a new player, you need tier 7, tier 8 equivalent, that means your set's worth about 500,000 to 1,000,000 silver. So this means that, let's say 500,000 silver on the down low. You need to kill 250 mobs to break even. That's what that means. That's a lot of mobs. And you're not going to kill that many mobs before you get ganked as a new player. You're just not. As an experienced player, you will have situational awareness enough to not get murdered by the time you farm that many mobs. You're not going to be that far up, though. It's an okay fame farm, sure. But it's not a money-making method. It isn't. A lot of these people, in their videos, what they do is they go all the way up here to the black zone, and they go to a high-tier zone, or they use the safe portal, whatever, it doesn't matter. And they end up getting lucky. Every single video I have ever seen, every single guide I have ever seen of someone black zone farming for money, they get lucky in these little mob camps, and they get a big fat jackpot. So I want to talk about that real quick, but let's finish up this little slide here about PvP. They will tell you to go PvP. They're going to tell new players that don't even know the basic mechanics, they don't know what any of the spells do, they don't know any of the metas, they don't know what anything counters what, they have no idea how to move their character correctly or space or anything, and they're telling them to go PvP for money? New players aren't going to kill anyone unless they just happen to butt heads with another brand new player and they get lucky and win. If you watched streams and videos when Europe first opened like a year and a half ago, you're going to see new players getting absolutely dumpstered on. They're just free. These streamers and YouTubers were free farming the new players that all got tricked into going into black zones to PvP. And you know what these guides tell you? You know why these guides tell you to PvP? Because their excuse, their reasoning is that, well, you gotta learn it at some point. I'm gonna tell you right now. You take an experienced pro player of Albion. You give them a brand new account. Yeah, they're gonna kill people. They're going to kill a lot of people. They're gonna make a decent amount of money. Sure. But sometimes a lot of their I have entire videos talking about this, but you can look up kill boards, murder ledgers, and so on. These are websites that track players' profits versus losses, and a lot of them, they lose more money than they make, and they just do it. They just edit the video to make it entertaining or to make it believable for someone that doesn't do the homework. Okay, PvP is almost never profitable, even for like experienced players who are high leveled, who have maximum specializations. Most PvPers in this game, with the exception of maybe Goldstein, Juan, and a few others, a few of the top guys, all right? Almost all of the ones that you think are really good, yeah, they could be really good at PvP, but at the end of the day, they still lose more than they make, and they're willing to lose that for the entertainment value of their videos and to persuade you that, you know, that's the memory that they're trying to make. That's the legacy they're trying to leave behind, is that they're a Gosu Uber PvP god, right? But in the reality is they're just throwing money away to keep up that illusion. And one of the fabled streamers, okay, is Equart or Equart. I'm not gonna call it I'm gonna say E, okay? But you can see here, estimated profit today 2.4 million, but losses today 7 million. So he's throwing money away. Yesterday, he made 5.3 million, but he lost 7.6 million. Look, this is with one loss, okay? That's right. The dude is literally smashing his 6.3, 6.4, whatever. I don't know what enchantment level this is because I don't care. And he's killing like little 5.1 shitters that are like out farming solo or whatever, right? And yeah, it's funny, and it's part of the game, and he's allowed to do it. It is what it is. And I would do it too if I would, right? But the point that I'm getting at is that these guys aren't making money PvP. All right, and if you think that a new player is going to outplay Equart and he's losing money, what chance does a new player have to make money? Yes, you absolutely can get lucky. That's a thing with Albion. You can get so freaking lucky, and you could find some guy that card swiped and he bought all the best gear in the game and he has no idea how to freaking play. And if you have a little small amount of PvP knowledge and bravery with your little crappy set, you can go beat him up and take his stuff, and you're super rich for it. That absolutely happens. I've been playing for about, I don't know, since 2019 without stopping. And it's happened to me one time, okay? And I almost never go into full loot zones. But the times that I did, I found a card swiper, and I was like, I gotta try. I gotta try to kill this guy. And what happened? The dude had no idea how to fight. He threw spells out. He had the wrong spells on. He had spells meant for killing mobs. And he didn't use his abilities correctly at all. And I just clean sweeped him. Took his stuff, most of it trashed. I didn't get a lot of money for it because of the trash rate. And the trash rate in today's patch, in today's day and age, is way worse than it was back then. So even if you are getting really good kills, most of it's going to break, and you're not going to get all the profits that you should get, and that's just the reality of it. So when these guides are telling you, oh yeah, just go to the black zone in PvP, and that's how you make money, bro, that is not something a new player will ever be able to do. I don't care if they're like the best League of Legends player. I don't care if they're the best Dota player. They still have a meta to learn. They still have to learn all the spells and abilities and spacing of the spells. There's a big learning curve to PvP. It can be done. You can learn how to PvP. You can even fast track yourself, but it's not something that you just throw money at until you get good. That is the dumbest way to learn how to PvP. It takes a lot of study, a lot of reading, a lot of research, and once you have a good bankroll and a way to make silver passively or in safe zones, then you can go and PvP, especially a new player won't have the mastery levels. They won't have the mastery levels for all of the abilities. They won't have the mastery or specialization to make their item power match up against another player of similar gear. So that is why you just don't PvP as a new player. You have to level up first. It's like, you think you can go play RuneScape and go PvP without having high stats in your combat abilities? No, absolutely not. You'll get one-shotted, okay? Now, you won't quite get one-shotted in Albion. There is a few builds that do one-shot, but chances are you're never going to see them because they're super rare. But the point is that a new player cannot make money by PvPing. They just can't. A new account, a new character from an experienced player can, because what they're going to do is run from every fight that they know they'll lose, and they'll face slam every fight that they know they can win, and they'll put it in a video. And then they'll tell new players to do it. And I have seen so many Reddit posts. They're like, I followed the 6-hour-long video of this guy with dual swords, and I keep dying, and now I'm broke, and I quit, and I uninstalled. And I'm like, well, they watched the wrong video. Sorry, guy. Sorry the algorithm screwed you over and didn't show you my video instead. Or, sorry that you took Reddit's advice not to watch my videos. You know, if you're a Redditor, it's like natural selection. It just is. If you want to learn about PvP and fast track yourself into learning how to PvP, this is literally the video. Albion Online 2025, complete PvP guide for beginners and pros, solo and open world. It's also time-stamped. It has everything here that you could ever want to know about PvP, how to research it, all of the websites, all of the little tricks that people use. This is the way to go. No single content creator has dumped this much info in a video because they like to gatekeep it. They want you dumb, stupid, disarmed, and broke so that they can walk all over you and kill you and take your stuff. Whereas I want you to be able to stand up to them, puff out your chest, beat the hell out of them, and embarrass them on their streams. That's what I want to see you do, and that's why I made this video, for you. And you know what the haters are going to say? They're going to be like, look at Swobenji's stat page. He only killed 866 players. What does he know about PvP? Number one, this Swobenji character is a crafting alt. This is not my main. This is my YouTuber character that I use so that when I play my actual Albion account that I made back in 2017, long before I even made this YouTube channel in 2018, I believe is when I made it. I went by a different name, and that name is forever private that no one will ever know about, okay? And, yeah, I've got a lot of kills on that one. But, again, this character is nothing more than a potion crafting alt. This character started as just something to make YouTube videos about, right? And it originally was just a crop growing character. That's all it was. And because the YouTube started popping off with, this, I kept playing it. And, the character that I play for PvP, he's got his PvP set, he's got his spec and everything. Everything's 120 on that character. This character, I'm not gonna. There's a reason why I don't push this character to 120. It's a huge expense, right? I push some of it to 120, of course, the cheap stuff, but not everything, okay? And this is not my main. Now, one of the haters that loves to point this out, content creator, streamer, YouTuber, I guess you can call him whatever, Tommy666. Dude has tatted up face. He looks like a prison inmate. Yeah, 96,241 kills. You may be thinking, well, this Tommy guy clearly is better and knows more about PvP. Let me show you why this guy has a whole bunch of kills and why it doesn't really matter. Okay, let's look at some of his kills. Let's just go to the most recent one here. This is an item power difference of 800. This guy has no chance. This guy literally, there's nothing this guy could ever do to beat this build. It's just too expensive. It's called item power crush, okay? But let's look at some other juicy kills, all right? Some of the bigger, fatter kills. All right, so again, 400 item power crush on this, but let's continue. There's a few other examples here. All right, so I want you to look at this. Now, this is only about 100 item power difference. However, he's using 0.3 food, but here's the big kicker. 29 assists. This means this guy does guild versus guild ZVZ stuff. Okay, he does ZVZ, Zerg versus Zerg stuff. So he's out here butt blasting big groups, 56 assists. This guy and 56 other people killed this guy, and Tommy got the killing blow. That's all this means, and yes, this was a 300 item power difference. Why are these guys even ZVZing with such a item power, like, crutch? I don't understand, okay? But that's like the majority of his kills, right? Majority of his kills. And let me show you another thing, too. And that is the kill board. Now, I want to show you. You may be thinking, oh, this Tommy guy slays. Oh, man. For me, PvP is all about how much money you make, okay? So, look at this. Here's his kill board. He made 8.8 million silver, and he killed 26 people today. But he also lost 84.4 million silver, and he died 3 times. Yes, he killed 26, he died 3 times. All right? And then yesterday, oh, he made 9 million. Oops, uh-oh, he lost 17 million, though. Uh-oh, right? And, yeah, not good. And then when he fights someone of greater or better item power, oops, he died. Looks like he didn't have enough item power to fight off that guy. No assists, by the way. That's a fair 1v1. Here's another one. Only 20 item power difference on this, but it's a counter build. Uh-oh, he died, right? And, you know, he's got plenty of money to spare. It doesn't matter. He's not going to, like, go broke or anything, okay? But, and again, I'm not trying to dog him too much, but he dogs me. He's like, oh, Solbidgy sucks. Solbidgy's blah, 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 right? And he even, like, hooked up with some girl that hates my guts that I've never talked to once or interacted with ever. It's just, these freak shows, they hate the hell out of me. I don't get it. So let's recap. The bad actors want you to the black zone to kill mobs for money, and they want you to PvP. Let me show you a real character example. I'm on the Asia server right now because West is down. This character has 3 days of playtime. I'm going to tell you right now, this character didn't do a whole lot of farming at all or anything. So let me show you what I've got going on here. A 3-day-old character. Here's his stats. He's got 3 kills. I guess I did a bandit event or something. All right. We have, let me show you the fame. All right. I originally started this character as a dagger user. I got to about 27 with, I was going to make him like a dagger pair ganker, but it was so slow. I was like, oh, I'm not doing this. So I switched midway through to axes, and then I got bear paws up to 73, battle axe to 5. And again, I showed you the video earlier on in this video where I can achieve these same numbers in 4 hours in the depths. 4 hours on a brand new character. That's all this is 4 hours worth of fame farming. Not a lot, okay? Now, this character has 49 million silver in 3 days of playtime. And you may be thinking, well, that's a lot. Now, I'm going to admit, how do I have 49 million silver, okay? Now, let's look at our gathering, okay? So, gathering, we went Quarrier on this. Yeah, we stone mines. I was like, stone is the worst resource in the game. And, how far do we push it? We got tier 6. Yeah, we got to tier 6 mining before, in the 3 days time. So not too bad, not the worst, not the best. But with tier 6 mining, and I just stayed in a tier 4 blue zone and mined. I'm going to be real. I only really made about 20 million silver. Now, the reason I have 49.2 is because when Asia was brand new, on the first 3 days of the server opening, this was my plan all along. Make as much silver as possible through gathering, and then on the 3rd day when my premium runs out, sell all my silver for gold, which I did. And then I didn't touch the character again until I don't know, a month ago, where I logged in and sold it all. And right now, like back in the day, whenever Asia was new, I think I bought, I think I was buying it like 3 to 6,000 silver. I forget, but now it's like 11,000 silver. So yeah, I basically doubled my money and then some by just holding on to gold. But again, that was 20 million silver in 3 days of time. And you don't really make a million per hour stone mining until you hit tier 8. And this character only got to tier 6. You honestly don't feel the speed bump increase until you unlock tier 7, which I never did. But I didn't use learning points either. I want to point that out. I did this with no learning points because I was curious. So I have 258 learning points on this character, which is about a tiny bit more than what you would normally get with a character that has their 3 days of premium spent. And I never spent my focus on this character either. You know this is a legacy character because you have 30,000 focus, whereas new characters will only have 29,999. This is because Sandbox Interactive rounds your last hour of premium down. Yeah, they cut pennies here, guys. They're cutting pennies, okay? But also, I want to mention that back in the day when Asia opened, there was no journal rewards. Whereas this character has 80 unclaimed rewards. So that's a lot of silver bags and a lot of fame tomes, okay? So again, this character could really cash in and level even faster, even further beyond. And yeah, there's a lot of, like, there's a scroll of repair. This thing's worth $1 million, I believe. Oh wait, no, that's untradeable. Never mind, I can't sell it. Used to you could, but they patched it where you can't. And yeah, this character has a lot of rewards, okay? But, so I did this with no journal and no depths. I just farmed open world yellow zones. That's all I did on this character, just the open world, which is 4 to 6 times slower than the depths, mind you, okay? And again, this is 3 days of playing. I know what I'm talking about. Alright, so let's move on. What is the best fame farm in the game? The best fame farm is soloing the trio depths. And even if you don't have any of these things I'm listing on the screen, it still outpaces everything else in the game as a solo guildless player by a long shot, by double to triple the amount. Just having these things makes it better. You don't... Here's the thing, right? If you kill a mob in one zone and it gives 5,000 fame, and you kill a mob in the depths and it gives 10,000 fame, having the satchel and premium and awakened on your weapon and stuff doesn't suddenly mean that the black zone mob drops more than the depths, okay? Technically speaking, yes, one black zone mob will give you more fame than one depths mob. However, you can pull 9 mobs at a time in the depths, whereas in the black zone you can pull 2 to 3, and maybe. And you're not bringing an 8.4 satchel into the black zone. You're not bringing an awakened weapon into the black zone. You're not doing any of that stuff. And you're definitely not throwing away Astral Staffs to die over and over in the black zone, okay? So here's the thing, right? But some people are like, oh, but I do this, and these mobs give like 3,000 fame each. How much do they give with satchel and blah, blah, blah? Well, the satchel's 100%, so it'd be 6,000, okay? You're going to have to do your math homework on your own. Here's the thing, okay? Another gripe about this is like, but I want to level swords. I want to level dual swords up. So I can't fame farm in the depths because I can't do it with dual swords. Technically, you can. It's not optimal, but you can. However, fame farming with an Astral Staff, number 4 on your screen here. Astral Staff. It is the biggest AoE and the most damage out of all weapons in the entire game for PvE mob fame farming, okay? And so that means it is the best AoE weapon clear in the game. The W is an AoE, the Q is a multi-chain hit, alright, that also procs a debuff that procs damage when you auto-attack, or use a Thetford cape, mind you. So it synergizes with your cape better than anything else. It is the fastest fame farm weapon in the game, bar none. By using an Astral Staff to fame farm, which new players can get one after they save their first million, whatever, okay? By using an Astral Staff to fame farm, and then converting it to combat fame credits, that means when you have 100 mastery in your Astral Staff, and eventually 100 specialization, all further fame is converted to a combat fame credit, which you can spend on weapons and armor and offhands and whatever you want, helmets, boots. Some people think that it's actually faster to put on a set and farm that set manually. And if you do the math on the conversion rates of combat fame credits to putting those in the gear, you save a huge amount of time. Remember that 6-hour long video that I pointed out to you earlier, where it showed me, you know, for the first hour and like 47 minutes, I get my character ready, and then I just do the depths and then hit 100 mastery. About 4 hours to hit 100 mastery, along with 70 spec and 96 mastery on the other pieces of gear, like the helmet and the boots. To get the same amount, to do the same amount of farming with an Astral Staff instead, and converting everything to combat fame credits, would only take about 40 minutes. I want you to put that into perspective. 4 hours, okay, 4 hours in minutes is 240. I can do the same amount of effort in 40 minutes on an established character, which means I am doing that 6 times faster. I am fame farming 6 times faster than manually leveling up a secondary set. Please understand this, alright? So let's do some quick math, alright? When I did the 0 to 100 mastery in 4 hours video, soloing the trio depths, I did at some point later on use a satchel, and I also had premium active because it was a new character. So if I did it without the satchel and without premium, it would only be 1.75 million fame an hour. Now I did this with a set I was unfamiliar with how to play. I got downed a lot. I was playing very inefficiently. With a established character with an Astral Staff, you would absolutely blow these numbers out of the water, doubling them probably, even more. Especially with satchels and auto-respec rolling. It's about 16 to 17 million an hour, okay? So technically it would be 17 times that of a new player without premium or satchel, okay? But the reason why these numbers on screen, if you're listening to me, alt-tab back into the video and look at the screen. Look at these numbers. Because I'm going to show you what the haters are saying are the fame farm values of the depths, while they tell you to go into the black zone instead. Alright, so here is an example that I saw the other day. This is a YouTuber named Noob Tonight, and I don't know if he hates me, but his very first ever upload, become OP early, literally, copying thumbnails, are we? But anyway, he made the best fame farming video, and he says, Black Zone versus depths, and he misspelled depths. Oops. Not going to show up on searches that way, Buster. But, yeah, you'll see that his numbers are very skewed compared to mine. Now, I'm not going to show you the video for copyright reasons, and, again, I don't know if this guy has beef with me, but because his first ever video kind of copied my thumbnail, I think he might! Also, it just seems that players from Turkey hate me. I don't understand. Turkey's a big country, lots of cool people. I know Levy hates me, and he was like the lead Turk that fled the country, by the way. So I don't get the beef. I don't understand. I don't know if this guy has beef with me. Hopefully not. But you know, here's his claims, okay? And he doesn't say in the video if he did duo or trio depths, and a lot of people don't know that the trio depths give better fame because the mobs, for some reason, are upscaled to give more fame. But he claims 835,000 fame an hour in the depths. Now, his build, from what I can research, was a flat 6, less than 50 specialization battle axe, merc jacket, yada. You can read the screen for his build, but battle axe is not the most optimal fame farm. It's a PvP build. He's using a PvP build to fame farm and compare numbers, right? And, like, when you're soloing depths, you're not going to win a PvP fight. You're just going to get rolled over by a healer comp every single time, okay? And, yeah, it sucks. But that's just the matter of the fact, okay? And, again, I don't know entirely about the values of Averroad or Black Zone, but I've done tests, and I've gotten way more fame in both of those as well. But if we were to go by his calculations, okay, I did 14 million fame in 4 hours, okay? So if we take that 14 million fame and we divide it by 835,000, by his numbers, it would have taken me 16.76 hours, about 17 hours of doing depths to reach level 100 mastery, which, as you can see in my video, simply is not the case. And this, I'm not trying to pick on this guy or anything, okay? What I'm trying to say is that when these guide YouTubers make a fame per hour video, or the best fame farmer, the blah, 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 number one, they're not being optimal with their builds. Number two, they're calculating fame per hour wrong. They're probably using a third-party program or something rather than manually doing it or manually recording all of their actions or whatever. But how can there be that much of a discrepancy? I'm fame farming 4 times faster than him with a build I've never used before, and I'm getting constantly downed, and I'm not playing optimally. Like, if you watch that 6-hour stream, YouTube, whatever video, it is, like, I am constantly downed. I am playing, like, absolute garbage. And he's in a PvP build, and a safe build. He's in a build where he doesn't get downed. He's in a build that heals himself. He's got shields. He's got a healing E, a healing chest piece, and he has frontal cleaves, and he does have AoE attacks too. Like, he's not entirely single targeting everything. So how can the numbers be so low? I think it might be inexperience. It might be improper calculations. I don't know, but it seems like every single fame per hour video that comes out from literally every guide channel ever miscalculates the fame per hour, and it makes no sense to me. I don't understand it. Alright, so I dug up his character. It looks like he has about 93 spec, 100 in armor, and 79 in the battle axe. He's also using a run speed W instead of Raging Blades for some reason, and a healing passive, and I don't know. There's a lot of critique I could do on the build, but it just makes no sense that he's fame farming that slowly. Also, why is his character Madame Lily with a girl avatar, and he's clearly a dude? I don't know. I'm not gonna judge. Whatever. And this is the whole point of me making this video, is to dispel all of this crap. So on YouTube, if you type Albion Online best fame farm, my video's #1. Okay, good. It won't always be, though. There's gonna be people sneaking up on it. And we got a YouTuber named Major here. Don't know him, but looking through the video, he says it's the depths. So yay, another truth teller. Thank you. And then you have Scrapped Online. Now, this is clearly a channel by some guy paying an editor, or an editor trying to make his own way to get that sweet content creator badge. And let me just tell you what he thinks is the best fame farm. So his list, it doesn't even, this was filmed during the depths, by the way. It's not like he filmed it before the patch or anything, okay? So he says open world is the best fame farm. Now, it used to be, whenever they nerfed static dungeons, okay? They nerfed that was the best, and then open world was the best. Open world is not the best. #2, he says group dungeons. So yes, you can technically still solo group dungeons with a Shadow Caller set, because when you go into a dungeon, you are no longer item power capped. You have full power of all your gear, all right? And so, yes, you can fame farm group dungeons. I did a test on this not too long ago, made a video about it, and it's it's nerfed really bad. It's super nerfed, okay? Mobs have a hyper regeneration when you are solo. And by the way, his video was titled Best Solo Fame Farms in the game, by the way. Okay, but at the same time, the mobs don't give much fame. They give around the same amount or a bit less than open world mobs, and they take significantly longer to kill. So, yeah. Ava Roads is, when compared to open world Black Zone, it's always going to lose because it's been nerfed. It used to be really good, and now it's nerfed. Alright, but it's still something you can go do that's slightly safer than the Black Zone, I would say. It's just frustrating. It's a different type of mob, all right? That's all it is. You run around with some gathering tools, and you might find an aspect or something. It's its own little mini-game. Faction Warfare. This is funny that he rates that #4. Faction Warfare, when combined with open world, it's all right. If you get into a Discord and you run around with a group of, like, 5 people capping outposts and just dunking on the enemy faction, with premium active, you can get a lot of faction points, and it does give you a lot of fame. But the fame per hour is barely 500,000 to 750,000. You're not really getting any more than that, and that's garbage numbers. He didn't list Journal. Journal is a one-time thing. I don't know why this is on the list. Yeah, you can make a new character and collect 600,000 to 800,000 worth of fame and tomes, but that's a one-time thing. Yeah, sure. So in fame per hour, technically that would be #1, but again, you can't repeat it. Conqueror's Challenge is absolute garbage. Absolute garbage. I don't care if you're going solo into mists and capturing legendary wisps all damn day, every day. You won't earn enough points to get those faction chests or tomes for it to matter. And then he lists Arena somehow. Somehow Arena is on here. Arena is like maybe 100 to 200,000 fame an hour if you're winning every match in a pre-made. It's not a lot. It's not a lot. And then Solo Dungeons. Solo Dungeons is definitely more. It's about like 400k fame an hour or something like. It's a very low amount. It's not a whole lot. So yeah, Solo Dungeons are legacy content's been nerfed. It deserves a bottom spot. Arena shouldn't be on the list at all, but there's no depths. There's no mention of the depths at all, and all the numbers in this video is wrong too. The fame per hour, this fame per hour, that. Yeah, all those numbers are based on the stats page, which doesn't calculate anything. So here's my list for fame farming if you're too lazy to go watch my fame farming videos. Number 1 is the depths. It is the absolute king of fame farming. You go into the trio depths as a solo, and you will clean sweep the fame and earn double, triple, quadruple, 6 times more than anything else on this list. Do not even waste time doing anything else at all. Next up is tier 5 yellow zones. Now, I'm not the yellow zone warrior. I'm not memeing here. I'm not lying to you. I ran all the tests and all the numbers, and the reason why tier 5 yellow zones outperform everything else on this list besides depths is because of the mob density, but also because no one goes to them. All the mobs are upgraded, and they're just there for the taking. You can grab like 6 to 7 upgraded mobs in a tier 5 yellow zone, whereas in the tier 6 yellow zones, everything's constantly killed. Number 3 is tier 7 red zones while faction flagged. Now, obviously, doing number 2, you should be faction flagged as well, but it doesn't really matter. But tier 7 red zone mobs give a lot of faction points for some freaking reason, and no one really fame farms in tier 7 red zones. I don't know what's going on. Either everyone's too afraid or something, but you just get a 5.1 Great Axe set and you just go to town. You can literally kill an entire pack of like 5-6 upgraded mobs with 2 spell rotations. It's pretty quick. Next up is tier 8 quality 5 black zones. These are difficult mobs and not something a new player can really do. I mean, if you have an expensive set, I guess, but even with a maximum spec, 5.1, 6.1 is still a bit of a struggle. All right, tier 6 yellow zones are next. They fall off quite a bit from the tier 8 quality 5 black zones, so from number 4 to 5 is a big jump, okay? Yeah, it's a safe activity, all right? Number 6 is any black zone that the save portal takes you to. Tier 5 and 6 black zones don't earn as much as tier 6 yellow zones. I've tested it. And number 7 is Stalker Corrupted Dungeons. It got buffed recently. It's alright. But if you get invaded a lot, you gotta play during off hours. If you get invaded a lot, you have to break crystals or fight, and it just eats up your time. And then re-gearing if you die really sucks. So, by the way, numbers 1, 2, and 5... You can wear an 8.4 satchel. You can wear a Mob Fame Awakened weapon. It is the laziest, easiest, and most stress-free way with no losses at all. So there is no... Because number 1 is the best Fame Farm method, there's no reason to do any of the other Fame Farm methods ever anyway. Especially because it allows you to wear the best possible gear without ever losing it. Okay? Numbers 2 and 5 also allow for the satchel and the Mob Fame weapon, which means... If you wear an 8.4 satchel, which you're not ever going to wear in an unsafe zone unless you're a card swiper, it will always, always outperform everything else on the list. So if you don't want to do depths, then do tier 5 yellow zones, and if you don't want to do that, then do tier 6 yellow zones. With a satchel, with a Mob Fame Awakened weapon. And you will always, always, always outfarm any of these doofuses that tell you, go to the black zone, dude. Alright, so if that 6-hour stream in the Asia character wasn't enough, here is the Europe character. 22 hours, 18 minutes. This is on Europe, so let's look together at his progress, okay? Again, 22 hours. There still wasn't I don't think there was the journal thing yet. Also, why are people adding me to friends on Europe? I don't play here. Let's see, this character. What did this character do? We got Torchfighter to level 30. That's... I don't remember what I did. Okay, yeah, we also maxed out axes. And we got Bear Paws to 59. So again, this is achievable in 4 hours, right? In the current patch of the game. Our silver, 18 million. I never did. I actually have 3,750 gold that I can convert. So 3,750. That's another 30. Wow, 30 million exact. Look at. I have never had that be an exact number. That's crazy. I guess because the current price is exact. Whatever. I don't know. I'm just amazed by the dumbest things. But the point is that, yeah, this character is worth about also 48 million silver. Figure that. I just haven't sold yet. Maybe I should have sold when the price spiked. Is the price still spiking? Yeah, it's starting to go down. Whatever. Who cares? But the point is, yes, this is, again, a character that I did in under a day. All right. And what about gathering? What do we gather on this? Oh, we went skinning. Yeah, we went tier 4, tier 5. I never even got to tier... No, I never got to tier 5 skinning. I just sat on tier 4 skinning, and I did use learning points, it looks like. Okay, yeah, so, again, just tier 4 skinning. Didn't skin too much, it looks like. Yeah, and just skinned, got our set. What about, did I kill anyone on... Yeah, I didn't kill anybody on this character at all. So yeah, cool. Anyway, that's progress on Europe. 1 day of playing the game. Now let's talk about the best builds, and I'm going to start with the Gathering build, because new players should always start with Gathering so that they can get money, not really passively, but just they can trade time for money. It's always a way to get money until you can get more money, and the more money you get sooner, the more money you can leverage with and earn more money. So let's talk about it. So the Gathering build is as follows. You want a matching set of Gathering helmet, chest, and boot. There are so many guides out there that tell new players not to gather with Gathering gear. They tell the new players to gather with PvP gear, which is the dumbest stuff ever. It's so stupid. Why do you want to gather with Gathering gear? Because Gathering gear gives you Gathering yield. It stacks up to 10. You can see my stacks up here are at 7 at the moment, and they'll stack up to 10. See, that one went to 8. This one went to 8, and so on. Every stack increases your Gathering yield. This means, okay, if normally, like, let's say I go gather a rock. If I gathered a stone, I would gather 9 stones. Well, with Gathering yield, I have a % chance to gather more, okay? So this tier 8 helmet stacks up 10 times at 1.75%. That is 17.5% for the helmet. The armor stacks up to 35%, okay? And the boots is also 17.5. So by just equipping these 3 pieces of armor at tier 8, they give me a 70% Gathering yield. So if we take 9 stones and add 70%, I now get 15 stones, okay? Which is a lot, but it doesn't stop there, okay? It doesn't stop there. Also, I want to point out, when doing skinning, it gets a little different. For skinning, having an 8.4 Skinner's Garb allows your poison to deal more damage. However, with item power caps in effect, this makes very little difference in damage. It is more damage, but not by much. If they remove item power soft caps in the future, which they have done before, and they might do it again, you can one-shot mobs with the Skinner's Garb, okay? Alright. But let's go over the weapon. You want a ranged weapon with high burst, okay? And you just want a ranged weapon with AoE damage and high burst, okay? So my favorite Gathering weapon in the whole game is Flamewalker's Staff. I think it's the best skinning weapon in the game, especially before item power soft caps. It has 2 movement abilities, so if I do get into a fight, I can run away. It has 3 AoE abilities, so if I pull a bunch of mobs that I need to gather, because there are like stone golems, metal golems, treants, little tree monsters. There's the animals. Every skinnable animal you need to kill before you can skin it. So Flamewalker Staff is my favorite weapon for a few reasons. Because it has 3 AoE attacks, I can blow up an entire pack of mobs super quick. Secondly, the E spell is instantaneous high burst damage, very high. So if I am trying to mob steal from another player, so what happens when you're out gathering, skinning at least, and you see a purple glow on the ground, and there's a skeleton with a purple glow, you sit there and you camp the hell out of that mob, and as soon as it spawns, the first player to deal 35% of that mob's HP is the one that is allowed to skin it for the next 2 minutes. So as soon as that mob spawns, boom, I got it. I just hit it instantaneously for most of its HP. That other guy doesn't stand a chance. This E-spell comes out instantaneously. It's the fastest attack in the entire game. Faster than an auto attack, okay? So yeah, there's that. Next up, you want everything in your kit to boost your damage. You do not need survivability when skinning in a safe zone or gathering. You want to deal as much damage as fast as possible. So, with the Flamewalker Staff, the passive... hold on, let me move the window up. The passive makes the Flamewalker Staff have the highest auto attack damage in the game. Yes, that's right. Because of this burn effect. Alright, which is amplified by a Crypt Candle. The Crypt Candle, don't use a Moisac. I hate these guides that are like, use a Moisac. Moisac does not boost your damage nearly as much as a Crypt Candle does. The Crypt Candle does lower your defense, which doesn't matter because these mobs are not going to hurt you anyway. You want as much offensive power as possible. And so this is 8.4 Masterpiece Crypt Candle. It's very beautiful, isn't it? But you want everything to soup up your Skinner's Garb animal poison. And Crypt Candle does exactly that, okay? The helmet and boots, the abilities don't matter because you're not really running away or using the trap, okay? Next up, your bag. You want a regular bag because a regular bag can hold more weight than a satchel, and the fame gained from killing mobs that are gatherable is so tiny it does not matter, okay? You also want the backpack, the gathering backpack, okay? Because it basically cuts down the weight of that resource by 30%. You don't have to have a tier 8 skinning backpack to skin in a tier 4 zone. You can just wear a tier 5 backpack and that's fine or whatever, okay? It'll still reduce it by the exact same amount. I just did this because I wanted to be fancy and have my set match, okay? For potions, a gathering potion or invisibility potion, if you do get faction ganked, you can go invis. You need a pork pie. This is a 15% gathering yield boost, all right? Very, very important, okay? Next up, you want gathering tools for the entire zone. And yes, there is a cat meowing in the background. I can't do anything about it right now. I'm sorry. She's very whiny. So let's say I am skinning in Long March Meadow. Well, the resources are hide, fiber, and metal, which means I would bring along a skinning knife, a pickaxe, and a sickle. All right, and the gathering yield of an Avalonian. Don't listen to these dorks, these guide makers that tell you to use a regular gathering tool, and their reasoning is that the repair bill is too much. Let me do some very, very simple math. The gathering yield is a plus 20% when using an Avalonian tool. Now, okay, if I skin for an hour, my repair bill is about 40,000 silver, okay? 40,000, right? And these dorks making these guides, they're either getting downed in faction fights or, like, losing to mobs and getting repair bills. I don't know. But if I don't get downed at all, my repair bill's 40,000, okay? So let's say I skin a tier 2 animal, and it normally drops 9 hide. We're going to boost that by 20%. It now drops almost 11. Sometimes 11, sometimes 10. Well, that's an extra 200, okay? That's an extra 200 silver. So 40,000 divided by 200... That's 200 mobs, okay? But you're not just doing tier 2 mobs. Here's the thing. You're doing a 4.3 mob. A 4.3 mob, okay, will drop a bunch of hide. And if you get 1 or 2 extra hides, that pays for multiple repair bills. Multiple, all right? I'm going to tell you right now, when I go skinning for an hour, I have about 2,000 to 3,000 or more hides, all right? If I take 3,000 hides and subtract 20% of those, I now have 2,400 hides. Well, if 600 hides are worth 80 each, that's 48,000. That pays for the repair bill. And the reason why you want higher gathering yield is because it levels you up faster. All right, but also those 4.3, those enchanted things, you get more of them, all right? So yeah, you can see that my gathering yield right now, especially if I put on the tool... you don't have to equip the tool. Don't listen to guide makers telling you, you have to equip the tool to get the bonus, stupid. They're idiots. They don't know how the game works. The game technically equips it in your slot while you gather. If you open this page and look at your yield, it will technically swap to this as you gather, and then swap back to your weapon when you're done gathering. It's an auto swap, okay? But you can see right now, without the pork pie and without premium, I'm at 133% hide yield, okay? And so with the pork pie, that would be 133 plus 15, be like 148, right? Almost 150. So if I normally gather 9 hides plus 148%, now I'm gathering 22 hides, okay? 22. All right, so these guys in PvP sets, these guide makers, telling you to wear a PvP set when you gather in a save zone, you're going to outpace them by 150%. Instead of harvesting 9 at a time, you're harvesting 22 at a time. And if you're harvesting 22 enchanted, materials at a time, you are absolutely banking, okay? So, and the last thing is journals. No guide maker tells you to use journals, okay? Journals, when filled, you can turn them into your laborers or sell them on the market for bonus profit. This is free money. Free freaking money. Let me scroll the list up on the screen for you, okay? Here you go. All right, I explained all of this already, so I'm just having it on the screen for you just so you can see. Oh, we didn't talk about the mount. The Elite Wild Boar is the best gathering mount in the game because boars give you their carry weight even if they are unsummoned. So if I have to walk outside of the summoning circle of the boar, I don't suddenly become overburdened, okay? They are also fast, they're tanky, and they can hold more than enough for you. You don't need to bring a mammoth out to gather in a blue zone. You don't need to bring a bear or an ox. Okay, you don't need those. Just get just get an elite wild boar. That's all you need. All right. Now, if you are fishing, a masterpiece tool will increase the fishing speed slightly. If you're really min-maxing, I guess go for it. It's not really going to pay for itself for quite a while. All right. For journals, I use tier 2 because that's mathematically the best ones. You generally want to use 2 tiers lower than the zone you're in. So if I'm in a tier 4 blue zone, a tier 2 journal would be ideal. Because everything I gather in that zone will fill the journal. Whereas if I'm using a tier 4 journal, only tier 4 mobs will fill that journal. Okay? You're going to have to do your own math and research to see what is the best thing for the market. So depending on what you gather and what server you're on, things could be different. But on West and in Bridgewatch, using a tier 2 gamekeeper journal is the ideal journal to use when skinning. I've already said it, but bad actors are going to tell you to use a PvP set when gathering. And if you look at their murder ledgers and their kill boards, you can see them die all the time in these PvP sets. It does not save them, all right? And they are really hurting their gains, okay? I don't know why they're telling people to do this. And I know some of them, I've asked them, and they're like, oh, well, it's because you can do, like, the boss dungeons. You can do the mob camps. I'm like, are you fame farming or are you gathering? Pick one and do it. You are better, listen to my advice here, and I'm being serious. You are better off if you devote 1 hour to gathering and 1 hour to fame farming. You will be so far ahead than someone that devotes 2 hours to trying to mix both at the same time. You'll be way ahead of that person. So just pick one thing and focus on it, and you will earn more than the guy trying to do both at the same time. All right, so other good gathering weapons if you don't want to use the Flamewalker is any cursed staff at level 40 mastery. You get cursed tar, which is just a puddle on the ground, and that's going to melt everything. Astral Staff is absolutely amazing. It's not the fastest. You're not going to mob steal with these weapons, by the way. You're just going to be able to AoE farm pretty efficiently. Any one-handed fire staff works. Blazing Staff also is really good. Their E is good. Light Collar is the best shapeshifter weapon for skinning. You have Longbow at 70 mastery. You can use Fire Arrow, and that really pumps with the E. Badon and Skystrider you can use right away. They have triple AoE, so they work just fine in good range, especially Skystrider if you want to pull from a range. Light Crossbow is a little bit tricky, but you can make it work. And Arc Light Blasters. All right, let's go over the best fame farm build now, and of course this is for depths and safe zones. Starting with the Astral Staff, and you just use the standard abilities and the first passive, just all the way straight down. And the reason why is your Q spell Chain Missile puts a dot on the enemy, which when you auto-attack will be triggered by your Thetford Cape's lightning attack. Your W is a frontal huge cleave and then a teleport, so this acts as an escape ability and a AoE damage ability, okay? So you essentially, when you're fighting enemies without your E-spell, you Q them and auto-attack. Once that uses up your cape, you Q them again, and then you cast W. And that will also proc the arcane charges that are put on the enemy, alright? And your E-spell is the biggest AoE circle in the game that allows you freedom of movement and can't be interrupted and stuff. So, biggest damage, biggest AoE. That's all there is to the Astral Staff. You awaken it with Mob Fame, and you get the full bonus in the depths. And you can awaken it with a lot of max health, and you will get 20% of this in the depths. So this gives me 100 HP in the depths. And then I have cooldown rate, but I get a fraction of a percent of this. It's useless. I just wanted to see how far I could take this weapon. All right, next up is the Assassin Hood, and you just use this for cooldown reduction. That's it. After you've cleared the whole room, you can then use this while you wait on the depths chest to spawn its prize. That's all there is. Next up is Cleric Robe. This lets you become immune whenever there's these enemies in the depths that root you in place, and the Cleric Robe saves you from dying when that happens. And also it boosts your damage, so you cast this before you cast your Astral Staff E, and that will completely nuke the entire room and kill everything, okay? Now, boots are a little bit... we'll talk about boots in a bit, but potions, we'll talk about that in a bit. Food, roast pork. You need the life steal from the roast pork, and that will sustain you in case you have a bad pull, all right? You need a satchel as your bag. You want a beefy one. Now, this thing takes full repair. Like, when you get downed or killed by a roaming group of 3s in the depths, your repair bill scales down. So all this 8.4 equipment scales down to tier 6. You don't pay a lot for repairs. However, satchel, you pay the full price of repairs. So just getting downed in this thing is like 50 to 100k repairs right away. You would mostly use a repair scroll to alleviate the pain. For the mount, I like using the Soul Spinner because it's super fast. It's the fastest non-gallop move speed mount in the game. So when you get downed and sent back into the little lobby area, you want to zip to the door as fast as you possibly can, and using this mount is how you do it. Otherwise, use a mule for lower repair cost. So let's talk boots. Royal boots is the plate version of the Royals, and it's the fastest boot for escaping or chasing, but you have to like plan ahead and charge it up before it like rockets you forward. Next up is Royal Sandals, and this is what I personally use. This boosts your damage by 15%, which is nice, but it's unpurgeable when you want to run away with it, which is also super nice, because we have no anti-purge stuff in our kit. That's why I run this. It's people will still catch up and kill you, though. Cultist Sandals is the best for dealing damage, but this build and this set already nukes the entire room without it, so you don't really need more damage. Sandals of Purity, it hovers you when you use it, and that helps you against comps that try to slow or root you. Guardian Boots grows you and gives you double the HP. I'm sorry I'm not showing these on the screen, but you know what these items are, hopefully, maybe. It grows your HP and doubles it, so all damage you take when reverted back down to your normal size, it calculates it at half. So basically it's 50% damage reduction while it's active. Spectre Shoes can turn you invisible for up to 16 seconds. This is most amount of time for a 3s group to like run away and chase, go down the wrong path. You can literally just turn invisible and stand in place, and most teams will move on. Or you can move in the opposite direction that they move. It really depends on how active they are, but most usually go running down the hallway, and you're just standing there like, 16 seconds is a long time to be invisible, so it's great for escapes. It does take like 36 or 72% of your mana, though, so you need a half a mana bar at least to use it. Now, for potions, healing, mana, invisibility, giant, or resist all work. Tornadoes are great. Tier 4 tornado potions, you throw them at someone chasing you, it knocks them back so far, and they will give up and chase someone else. But it's about 3,000 silver a throw. I usually just don't use potions at all when I fame farm. You don't really need them for anything. Defensively, I guess, but, 1 versus 3, you're going to die anyway. Here are other good fame farm weapons to use, mostly anywhere, but also for the depths. These all have AoE attacks that hit very hard and clear pretty quickly. Alright, Curse Staff, especially for Stalker Corrupteds, you need 40 Mastery, though, for the puddle. Shadow Caller has lots of sustain and great AoE, so it's a safe choice if you don't want repair bills. It's not the fastest, but it is the safest, best sustaining weapon in the game. You need to pair it with leather armor, though, so you can't use Cleric Robe. You'd have to use something else. Blazing Staff has amazing AoE on the E ability. Light Collar is the best AoE for shapeshifting. Blood Moon is the best sustain for shapeshifters. Ironclad and Black Monk Staff are so similar in DPS. Both of them work. It's a weapon with 3 AoE attacks. It'll fame farm just fine. I didn't think so. I tested this thoroughly, and these 2 weapons actually kick a lot of ass, okay? Phantom Twin Blade, though, is the best for the monk staffs, but it is a crystal weapon. So Spirit Hunter for spears, really the only viable spear for AoE killing. Longbow at 70 mastery. Bow of Badon is the most used solo fame farm weapon in the depths. I don't know why people are using this over Astral Staff, but it is what it is, I guess because it's cheaper. Skystrider Bow is very quick as well as Badon. I think Skystrider actually beats Bow of Badon in clear speed. It's just more pricey. Arclight Blasters is the current streamer favorite weapon for clearing, though they do it in trios. It's still good for solo. It has big AoE and gives you lots of defense while you do it. Light Crossbow, of course, the classic highest DPS AoE weapon for smaller circles. Ursine Maulers, if you can time it with your Cleric Robe, you can clear the whole room. It's very tricky. It's a very tricky weapon. Battle Axe has Sustain. Great Axe has AoE and damage. Infernal Scythe has nearly as much, but not as much as Great Axe. But if you time it when enemies are weak, you can cleave them all down. Bear Paws has lots of Sustain. Not as much as Battle Axe, but it's there if you time it correctly. Realm Breaker has lots of damage, and Crystal Reaper has the most damage. But I'm going to tell you, it's the trickiest one to use, okay? Claret Blade has a good damage and a frontal attack. Carving Sword does as well. Kingmaker does, and Infinity Blade is the best out of the swords. My advice, just pick the damn Astral Staff and then farm the Combat Fame credits, and then you can use that to level up whatever you want. So, for example, I'm not really a spear guy, but let's say I wanted to level up the Glaive. Okay, so to level up Glaive from 21 to 100 is going to cost me 16 million Combat Fame credits. Well, that's easy to farm. That's an hour and 40 minutes in the depths, and I have 262 million. So how many times, let's see, 262 million divided by 16 million. So I can level this 16 times. All right, and it doesn't take long for these things to start adding up. So I can level up 16 specializations from level 21 to 100. What about level 1 to 100? Level 1 to 100 would cost me about 16.9. We'll say 17 million, right? 262 divided by 17. I can level up 15 weapon specializations to 100 right now if I want. It does not take a long time to level up, okay? And if I were to dump this into armor, well, armor is 4 to 1. Unfortunately, all my armor is level 100, so I can't really calculate that for you. Helmets are 8 to 1. And so, yeah, it's, you can level a lot of stuff up very quickly once you start accumulating Combat Fame credits. Let's see what the bad actors have to say. It's the usual suspects, the usual grifters. All right, check it out. I searched for Albion Online best build, and 3 hours ago, Equart, best PvE build for solo depth. Depth? Just one depth? Anyway, it looks like it's an Iron Man series, 14 minutes long. I'm going to tell you right now, I've already researched the video. Let me tell you what build he's rolling with. Alright, so now, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm being a bit of a jerk here, okay? His video is all about PvP and getting sick kills, and all I have to say is, Orange Zone Warrior much? Orange Zone Warrior? Anyway, who cares, right? Everyone's doing Orange Zone stuff. But the Bow Badon is fine. The Soldier Armor, when it's charged up, will give a pretty big damage bonus, more actually than the Cleric Robe, okay? And it's got me curious. That's why I'm here on the test server now. I'm going to test it out. We're going to see if he's onto something with this Soldier Armor stuff. But Hellion Hood is terrible because that puts you in a smoke cloud and drops your aggro, so you can't really... You can use it to execute people who get down by mobs, but you can't really use it to help you fame farm faster. And Mercenary Shoes... Just using Refreshing Sprint, I guess. I don't know what he's using, but that's what I would use to fame farm with. And he had health restore food, like growth potion. But I'm gonna try out the damn Soldier Armor. We're gonna see. We're gonna see if it's useful. All right, so we're gonna eat our food here, and we have our Soldier Armor. So let's go ahead and pull the mobs, pop the armor. They're all gonna be bashing on me, and we're just gonna throw out our Q, W. It looks like I have 8 stacks. I want a little bit more stacks. I'm not getting to 10, so I'm going to throw out the E on the Badon bow. And, yeah, I'm able to tank because I'm in plate. But now that, well, that's a full clear. And so maybe there's something about the Soldier Armor. Could be good. Let's try another pull. My gripe with the Soldier Armor, though, is, well, if you aren't using it, your damage is so freaking low. But let's try another pull here. This is a little baby pull. And we're going to pop Soldier Armor, and we're just going to, I guess, how much of this can we stand in? Well, not a whole lot. Yeah, we actually take quite a bit of damage there, but so do the enemies. And as long as we have those charges, our DPS is maxed, but now that we don't have any charges, clearing this last guy takes a little bit of time. It's definitely not faster than, using Cleric Robe, I'm pretty sure. Let's do, this one has the grabby guys that kind of hold you down. So let's grab all of them here and try to bundle everybody up. So now I'm slowed. Pop the armor. Start hitting these guys with all of our spells. And just E the center there. And yeah. So now it's time to dodge and weave. Do some autos. And yeah, most of the mobs are still left alive because the E didn't hit all of them. But hey, Bow Badon's still pretty good regardless. And I will admit, the plate armor... See, now I'm held in place. I can't move. Now I'm held in place again. Can't move. So, I don't know. I'm not sold on it, really. But again, this could be a skill issue. This could be my... I'm just so used to Cleric Robe. Whenever they root me in place, I just go full kill mode. So we can try another pull here. And again, I just want to reiterate, I'm in full 8-4 with 120 spec across the board on the test server. So this is the highest possible item power you can possibly have, which is really not indicative to a new player. But if we can bundle everyone up here, just like so, pop our armor, stand in some attacks so we get those charges, and then, you know, hit them with the E, hit them with an auto, and that should melt them, maybe. Is it? No, the big guy oh, no, he died. Okay, yeah. So, Soldier Armor plus Badon E melts even the big guys in a single cast, with a W, with a Q, with an auto. So, we know it works. We know it full clears in a single spell rotation. And, you know, the Soldier Armor has low cooldown, so I can just use my helmet and get it right back, right? Let's do another pull. Pop Soldier Armor, start hitting them with the W's and stuff. There we go. Get some charges. We're at 8 charges. And hit him with that E. Now, this guy wasn't in the Badon circle. That's the Badon. That's not so much the, you know, the armor's fault. So maybe there's something to learn here. Astral Staff and Soldier Armor could technically, possibly, maybe work. Possibly. And let's just compare damage real quick. So, with the Soldier Armor, we're just going to cast E on the target dummy here. And again, this is full item power. You know, whatever, it's not downscaled. So 1,944. And then when we use it with the Cleric Robe, here's how much we do. And there we go. So we need to beat 1,944. And that would be, you can see it's a lot more, 2,688. But what about with the Everlasting Spirit and, of course, Soldier Armor? You know, what about with Fury? So this is how we're going to test it. We have this Morgana Crossbow man. He's got 6,662 HP. We're going to pull a bunch of mobs, let it stack up to 8, and then E him. And he jumped out. Of course he did. So I have to do the test again. All right, I got a better test subject. We have this lava guy here. And we can just stand in his lava puddles, or his lava, like, snail trail. And that should stack us up to 8. There we go. And now that we have 8 stacks, we can just set here and... now, he's got some regeneration, so it's a little harder to do, but it looks like it ended around 6,900-something HP. So there we go. And let's go ahead and drop out. Oh, we got the damn crow. So yeah, because I'm in a group dungeon, they do regenerate. Here, go away, crow. So now we swap to the Cleric Robe, and then we pop our Everlasting Spirit. And see what the damage is. There we go. Also, I hate that group dungeons close. That's so stupid. There we go. Knock me back. And then we do that. And now let's see with the Cleric Robe. No, why is he walking out of it? Alright. It's still got... It got around to... It's like 100 HP difference. So that's the best I could show you, alright? Soldier Armor gives you about 100 more damage over Cleric Robe. However, whenever Soldier Armor isn't active... you lose significantly more damage. You lose 53% damage, and to me, that slows down your fame farm, but it's viable. I'll say E-Quartz build, besides the helmet and, well, the rest of his kit, like, it's viable, it's okay, it's not the worst. Next up is Levy, who hates me, by the way. He thinks that I don't like him. I don't care. I think it's funny that he thinks that my girlfriend is just me using a voice changer. No, I have a legit girlfriend. I know it's a meme to call me an incel and stuff, and you're just having fun with the lads in your server. I don't know. Whatever. Here, let's get on to it. So he... 5 best solo build weapons for beginners. All right. And I'm going to be real here. His build is PvP oriented. Beginners shouldn't PvP. And the stuff he does tell you to PvP with all requires skill shots and positioning and a whole bunch of whoopity-doopity. None of it's in the meta, so you just get stomped by the meta bros and the mobile builds anyway. But let me just show you what he's cooking. He's got the Hunter Hood, Merc Jacket, and Demon Boots. So Hunter Hood is not a Fame Farm weapon, or I'm sorry, not a Fame Farm helmet at all. It boosts your defense and gives you reflect. Cool. Chest, Mercenary Jacket. It gives you sustain against mobs. Oh, you can fame farm a little bit slower, but you won't get downed by a black zone mob if you accidentally stand in their AoE circle. Whoops. Demon Boots. You can sometimes run away if they don't purge them first, if you're low on HP and someone doesn't one-shot you. So it's just a runaway boot. It's not for fame farming or speeding up your kill time. So he's got Danglemouth Catfish, which is the poor man's cabbage soup. Everyone who is anyone knows that we meme on this channel that if you eat Danglemouth, you're like down in the river, okay? Anyway, Potion, tier 6 healing, it's whatever. Just like for PvE, I don't see the point. PvP, of course, he doesn't use a cape, and that's for budget reasons. I get that. But for the depths, for fame farming in the depths, which is where beginners should be, in the freaking depths, fame farming and getting their spec up. Nowhere else should they go. You want to use a cape because there's no risk of losing it. So his weapon choices are Battle Axe with a torch, dual swords, bow, a spear, and arcane. All of these are very mid for fame. Arcane's pretty bad for fame farming. And for PvP purposes, bow works against idiots. Spear works if people aren't running higher item power. Arcane can purge, and that's only if you land the skill shot. It's very like Arcane, yeah, you can beat people up with Arcane, absolutely. If you land the skill shots, Battle Axe is probably the safest for PvP. Dual Swords, if you have a high item power, which beginners won't have, absolutely is just Raffle Stomp face roll. It like if you have a very high spec in swords and you go dual swords and you run a meta build, you just push all the buttons on your keyboard and win. That's how it usually goes against someone who doesn't have a massive item power advantage over you. And even then, you can still beat up people about 200 item power above you with dual swords. They're that stupidly broken. But for fame farming, all of these weapons are very mid. I don't recommend them at all. They're too slow. Battle Axe being the fastest one out of the bunch here. But even then, you got to line up all the mobs, and you really need to you need like, what is it, 70 to 80 mastery. You need like 70 or 80 mastery just to use, yeah, you need level 70 for Raging Blades. Level 70. And I know there's text in the way, whatever. But it's not for beginners, even though that's how he titled the video, whatever. He's free to say whatever he wants. I know he hates my guts. I don't know why he came back to this crappy game, but this game's dead as hell. I don't know, again, bad time to come back to it. Anyway, so here's another one, Scripted Gaming, and it's a video from 2023, but he keeps updating the SEO, so it keeps showing up in searches for 2025. Anyway, his build is as follows, dude. He went Battle Axe Torch, Scholar Cowl, and Scholar Cowl is okay. It gives you defense, it gives you mana, it gives you energy back, so it's all right for PvE. It's not ideal for depths, but it's okay for open world, whatever. You went Assassin Jacket. Why? Why Assassin Jacket, dude? There is, yeah, I get it for PvP purposes, abso-freaking-lutely, right? For PvE purposes, for fame farming, no. Assassin Jacket sucks. Minor Boots. My big gripe with this, like, this is a PvE meme build. This is so he can fight people and then run away with Minor Boots if he can't win. But Minor Boot, the reason you don't use a gathering item gear when you're fame farming is because it does not generate fame towards the boots, which means when you have 100 mastery and specialization, it generates no combat fame credits, and it dramatically hurts your fame per hour. You should never fame farm in gathering gear. You can PvP with some gathering gear. There's like the Sleepy Cowl, the Minor Boots, all that. That's fine if you're PvPing. This is clearly not a PvE build at all. This is not meant for fame farming. But new players will be like, what's the best build in the game? Oh, this guy. Wow, he's got a webcam and everything. You can see his real life face. And I'm just trying to be funny. Shut up. It's like 4 in the morning, 6 in the morning. I don't know what time it is. And yeah, people are like, wow, this guy knows his stuff, dude. Oh, I'm gonna do it. And then a brand new player uses this build, and then they're like, man, this game sucks. It takes too long to level up, and then they quit. Okay, he has a PvE section later, and he went Great Axe, Stalker Jacket, Mage Cowl, Royal Sandals. This build is fine, and originally it was actually a build that I had created long ago, around the same time that he made this video as well. And that was because there was a journal entry that if you kill a bunch of mobs with the Stalker Jacket and so on and so forth, I didn't use Great Axe, I used Curse Staff, but still, it's an okay build for clearing. However, it is not optimized, and the reason why is time to kill from 2023 to 2025 has changed. The reason time to kill has changed is because Cleric Robe combined with Assassin Hood, and there was a buff between 2023 and 2025 with Meditation that allows you just to reset your cooldowns, and when you use Great Axe, you can pop off 2 E's very rapidly, and that helps you clear open world mobs. You can also use Great Axe for the depths. It's not as fast as an Astral Staff or a Badon Bow or yada yada yada. It is easy to play and it works. And while the build he presents in 2023, labeled for 2025, works, it is no longer optimal. It's suboptimal, but it's not bad. Next up is Doc Plays. I don't really know him, but he went Battle Axe Moisac. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you're just I'm gonna admit he's probably doing this for a PvP build. All these best beginner build videos, they make me upset because they're all geared for PvP. Beginners don't need to be PvPing. They got to keep their head down. They got to go through school first, graduate with 100 spec and mastery, then go PvP. But he's got Moisac. Okay, Moisac makes your mana burn. It burns through mana. It doesn't give you as much damage as a Crypt Candle. However, Crypt Candle does make you squishier, so you wouldn't use a Crypt Candle in PvP ever, really, unless you're Goldstein using a Curse Staff build. But he goes Mercenary Jacket, which is sustain, not good for PvE. All right, Helmet of Valor is a Purge helmet, not good for PvE. You don't need to purge the mobs. Soldier Boots for, the run speed when it heals you, or the one that lets you run really fast. I forget the damn names, okay? What is the freaking Soldier Boot? Wanderlust, that's it. It's a Nightwish song, I should know the word. But, an Avalonian Cape, right? Well, Wanderlust, let's finish. I'm getting off topic. Wanderlust lets you chase down people who are weak, unless they have minor boots. That's pretty much it. Avacape blows up near you and reduces the damage that enemies deal to you during the duration. It's like a Thadford Cape, but not as good, in my opinion. And for PvE, I wouldn't use this. It's okay, it'll work. It's just not optimal. It's just not fast enough. Now, there's a reason I've been griping about all these best build for beginner videos that all have PvP options. And I know some of you are going to comment, but I want a PvP. I want a PvP, but none of these are meta. None of these are good in PvP. They're okay in PvP. They're all right, but they're not meta. Let me show you the meta. And I'm going to do this unscripted here. I don't script any of my videos anyway. Y'all should know this. You go to killboard-1.com, and I'm going to tell you right now, you just pick Asia. They're smarter than all of us. I'm being real here. And then you click the solo button, and you can see what all the solo gankers are using. So DC Ilm Game LOL is ganking with the following build. He's got the Bloodletter. Yeah, okay, this is pretty standard. I love this build. Is so fun. This build is it's my new favorite Yellow Zone ganking set, that's for sure. But if you don't like Bloodletter, then you pick another weapon like Death Givers. And then we got Takey here. He's got the standard. He's got the standard build, right? All these builds will absolutely kick the ass of every build that I've showed so far. Oh, we got a Prowling Staff user. Haven't seen one in a while. That's yeah, that works. That works pretty good. I don't know, it's a little tricky to play. Not my favorite play style. I don't understand. Oh, here we go. I bet this is a Stalker Jacket. Oh no, it's Hellion. Oh wait, I clicked the wrong build. Yeah, yeah, it's Stalker Jacket. See, there you go. Yeah, this build, this is IP Crush 101 here. If you want to IP Crush, you just run this build, dude. And you can run away from nearly everything too. It's so fun. A lot of fun. Oh, here we go. This is the tryhard build. All right, oh yeah. Oh, that's a card swiper. Oh, everything's masterpiece and 8.4. That's probably awakened also. And look at he got a juicer. Dude bodied a juicer. Oh man. Damn fam. Tuan Tai. You're killing it. Anyway, let's check out America. Let's see what they're doing, okay? Yeah, it's mostly the same stuff. Maybe. All right, let's see what Wizzo is running here. Oh yeah, okay, yeah. See, I run this. This is kind of what I would run, a little something similar in yellow zones back before the IP cap. Okay, how about Europe? How you doing, Europe? Ooh, Panda Cotta, what you running? Oh, he's got the light collar. Yeah, the the Humperdinck special, not exactly. It's very similar to Humperdinck playstyle, that's for sure. Let's see. What else we got on Europe, okay? Oh, we got a spear user, or yeah, what's going on with this build? Okay, yeah. It's all right. It's okay. It works. I don't know why. Oh yeah, I mean, you're going to kill that build. Like you're going to kill that build, right? Oh, jeez. I don't know. I'm not a fan of spear. I'm not a big fan of spear. We got the wand special, hamster gangster. What a name, dude. What a freaking name. I don't like Europe builds. Europe builds are boring. Oh, we got a longbow, solo longbow. What's going on with that? Oh. He's running Sky Strider. Yeah, he's running the usual Sky Strider strat. Okay. Anyway, you can see. Where's the battle axe? Where's the... Okay, here we got regular bow. Okay, with cultist. Yeah, cultist hood. Average pesos enjoyer. I know, right? For fame farming, if you go to the rankings and you go to Total Fame like this week or whatever, you can see a bunch of people that have like billions of fame farm. You're like, how the hell do they do that? Well, they do world bosses, okay? This is not solo activities, but you can see here, this guy's like a main tank. He's a main tank for his guild. Now this guy, look at his build. And man, this is, you hate to see this one, but no, that's the wrong one. Oh, dude, this one hurts. This is card swipe territory, but this guy had an Astral Staff with full cloth, and oh my goodness, this weapon is beautiful. This is a magnificent specimen of a weapon. Mr. Sebastian Inquire, if you are watching this, oh, you have a beautiful weapon too. No, not quite. If you have this weapon, I will buy it from you. I will buy this absolute beauty off of you. Please do not sell it back to Mode Men 25. His guild name is a bunch of gibberish anyway. That is some that is Swiper, man. Look at that. Ooh, oh, masterpiece. Oh, Jesus. Give me. One huge new player complaint is the repair bills are too damn high. All right, there are little people that quit the game because they go out and they try to like kill mobs and fame farm or whatever, and they get down and they get down, and then suddenly they can't use their gear anymore because it's broken, and they can't repair it because it's too expensive. Okay, number one, stop getting downed. You have to learn how to dodge the little skill spells on the ground. This is MMORPG 101. You'll never survive World of Warcraft raids, Final Fantasy 14 raids, or this game if you cannot step out of the red circle. Number two, go gather. Go gather, sell the items, and then you can repair your gear. Mwah. People ask, what is the game loop in Albion? And I tell them this. So as a newbie, you go to Tutorial Island, you figure that out, and then you gather and you fame farm. That's all you can really do as a newbie. You can't PvP, you don't have the fame, you don't have the money. Once you're established with a basic chunk of money, you get islands set up as soon as possible if you plan to play this game more than like 8 months. And if you are picking an MMORPG to play and you don't plan to stick around for 8 months, don't even bother. Don't even start, okay? After you have your island set up, you can begin crafting and more gathering. Once you're well established, as in your crafting is maxed out, you're making passive millions of silver per day. You gather for fun. You can start using that massive wealth you've built up to flip, and that's going to put you into the billionaire status. And then after that, you don't have to be a billion. You don't have to be a billionaire. You can just like a couple $100 million. Come on now. But once you are rich and you have maximum spec, then you go PvP, because otherwise you're gonna lose a bunch. You're gonna lose money. It's gonna slow you down. If you PvP too early, you won't be able to get a good foothold into the game. You won't have a very good economy, and there's gonna be fights that you should have won. But because your specialization is too low, you lose, because Albion is a numbers game. At the end of the day, numbers freaking matter. All right? And the sooner you get those numbers up, the sooner you can enjoy the game. People ask, what should I craft? What kind of crafting specialization should I get into? Cooking is the answer I always give. It's the cheapest to max out. It's also the most profitable. That does not require Black Zone Guild hideouts. All right? And the only issue that I have recently with this answer is that there is a way to use clever game mechanics to do all your chef work without actually having a dedicated character to leveling up chef. And it could be fixed in the future, but right now it's pretty bad. And the only problem with this, the only thing keeping it from ruining cooking altogether is that not enough people are doing it to ruin the economy. Cooking is so hard to, like, tank money-wise that it would take a lot of people to do it. And maybe one day someone spills the beans on the method. My channel members are keeping their lips sealed. And if you want to learn how to do it, you got to become a channel member. Click that join button right down below. I don't shill in my videos. No VPNs, no stupid sponsorships. Just join the YouTube thingy and you get private, more personal videos. Too good for the public. Let's get back to the next take. Another commonly asked question, and I have not had my watermark on the whole time. Oh man, the Chinese are going to be stealing this one on that Billy site. But anyway, what should I flip? Asks a newbie, and my answer is anything. And so I'm going to ask an AI to name a random item, and here we go. All right, so it chose Druid Cowl. Okay, let's flip a Druid Cowl. All right, pretty simple stuff. We're just going to type a Druid Cowl. There we go. There's a Druid Cowl. Let's go tier like 6. All right, so you'll see here, Druid Cowl, 33,982. We can put a buy order in for 18,133. And how many sell per day? Let's see, we got 35, 25. Yeah, so we could do that. That's easy. So again, we would buy it, and let's see, we buy it for 18,133, and then we sell it. Let's say we end up selling it for 32,000 because we have to keep undercutting other people. We made 13,000 silver with a few clicks. That's pretty much the basis of it, okay? That's how you flip. And yeah, there's going to be more profitable things than the Druid Cowl to flip. But imagine, 13,000 silver, you do this in 6 towns. That's 13 times 6. About, you know, that's 78,000, and then you pick another random object and you flip that one. That's let's say you pick 100 random objects. Your 78,000 is now 7.8 million, right? Okay, and yeah, that's about 7.8 million. And now let's say you do 1,000 objects. Now you're at 78 million. But I can't flip 1,000. Yes, you can. You can flip as many things as you freaking want. You can literally flip every single item in the game that isn't like one resource off, okay? And even then, you kind of can. So we'll go with something really hard to flip, like hide. We'll go with tier 4 hide, or tier 5 hide. Heavy hide is 460. It's at, no, let's try tier 4. Something harder. Okay, tier 3. Yeah, tier 2. Why is the market so volatile? Yeah, whatever. This is a 4 silver difference. You're going to be eaten alive with the taxes, right? And you can see these are some fat stacks. But let's say someone offloads like months worth of gathering or bots. Well, let's say I put in a buy order at 49, okay? I put my buy order at 49, and then I sell it 70. I wouldn't sell it 70, but let's say I sell this at, let's sell it at 70. Screw it, why not? All right, so I'm buying at 49. We'll say 50. I'll buy at 50 and sell it 70. That's 20 silver per hide. Now, let's say I sell 20,000 of those. That's 400,000 silver. Well, how many sell per day? It's definitely quite a bit. 300,000. Okay, we need to up our numbers a bit. So this time we're selling 100,000, and now we're selling it in 6 towns. So that's 12 million a day, except it's going to take about 3 to 4 weeks to get down to this low. And it happens. You can see it happen right there. Well, kind of. That's 56. But it did happen. It happened in about 3 weeks. Every 3 weeks, it's going to dip down, is what that market little graph is saying right now. Potentially, maybe, maybe not. But just putting in a buy order doesn't cost much. Costs like 1 or 2 mob kills in the black zone, dude. The thing is, you just have to have money to be able to do it. It's like a fire and forget. You put it in there. I have nothing in the market right now, actually. I just sold through everything. You can see here, what do we flip? We flipped calming potions. Yeah, so there you go. 460 calming potions made 4 million. Cool. Easy flip. Easy flip. You know, channel members, click that join button. There's a whole lot of members-only videos that explain flips and explain the math and the reasoning and give you all the best flips. But anyway, that's all I've got. So, click the like button, leave a comment, and click the video on the right side of your screen. If you don't, then it's gonna... This is what's gonna happen. You're gonna be watching an anime, and as soon as it starts raining in the anime, it's gonna rain in real life outside, and you're like, what the heck? What the hell? And that's gonna happen. You're gonna say, what the hell, out loud. I don't know why. You're just gonna do it, and then suddenly you'll remember, oh, that's because I forgot to click the video on the right side of the screen. Man, how did these Soul Benji curses work? Is he a witch doctor? Is he from Haiti? I don't understand.